If you've ever played video games, you know the frustration of constantly failing until you get a game over and not sure what to do next or if you'll ever be able to beat that impossible level. Life can sometimes feel like that. We have no way out or no hope, and we're just not sure what to do next. And sometimes running through life can look a lot like this. As hopeless as that may seem, the good thing is that we're not alone. God is with us, and He can change our situation from game over to game on. And so our new series, Game Over, we'll look at 9 different stories throughout the Bible that seemed hopeless until God stepped in and made some of the greatest comebacks of all time. So this week, this coming Sunday, we'll start with the Israelites being attacked by the Amalekites in Exodus 17. It seemed like all hope was lost, but God promised as long as Moses kept his hands in the air, they would win. Thankfully, Moses didn't try to do it on his own, and 2 of his closest friends stood with him and held up his arms. We'll learn in our bottom line, or what you gotta know as we like to call it, that it takes a team to win the victory, and our power verse is from 1 Corinthians 3:9, which says, "We work together as partners who belong to God." Then the following week, we'll hear the story of David's sin with Bathsheba in 2 Samuel 11 and 12. We won't get into all the details, but we will see David's reaction to being confronted with his sin and how no matter how badly we failed, God can reset our hearts and our relationship with Him. Our bottom line, failure isn't final. And our power verse is 1 John 1:9, which says, "But if we confess our sins to Him, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all wickedness." Starting March 6, we'll hear the story of Nehemiah rebuilding the wall around Jerusalem in Nehemiah 1 through 6. Now, we're not going to do all 6 chapters, but we will cover the story. And even though he constantly had people threatening and attacking his efforts, Nehemiah was able to rebuild the entire wall in just 52 days. We'll learn that no matter how bad our life may be, God will help us rebuild it. Our bottom line, God will help you rebuild your life. And our verse is found in Psalm 147, 2 and 3. "The Lord heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds." Don't miss Parents' Night Out the Friday before on March 4th. Our Hope Youth will watch your kids for 3 hours for just $20 a kid. Sign up and get more info at our website. Next, we'll learn the story of Jacob and Esau from Genesis chapter 27 and 32 and 33. Jacob had stolen from Esau and was afraid that Esau would want retribution. But as we'll see in this story, God can restore any relationship, no matter how bad it is. Our bottom line for this week is God can bring people back together. And our power verse is Ephesians 4:32, which says, "Instead, be kind to each other, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you." Then on March 20th, we'll see Jesus raise a little boy from the dead from Luke 7, verses 11 through 17. His mother was left destitute and needed a miracle. Thankfully, Jesus was in town and provided one. We'll learn that no matter how bad things get, Jesus can always show up and turn things around. Our bottom line, nothing is too hard for God. And our power verse is from Mark 10:27b. That's the second part. It says, "Everything is possible with God." We'll finish off March by going back to Moses in Exodus 2:11 through 15. While still a prince of Egypt, he lost his temper when he saw a slave driver mistreating one of his fellow Israelites, and he killed him. We'll learn that while anger is natural and normal, we can't let it control us. Our bottom line this week is, "I won't let anger control me." And our power verse is from Psalm 4:4a. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Normally we'd finish the series by now, but we're taking the Game Over series all the way to Easter. So on April 3rd, we'll learn one of the greatest prophets in the Bible, Elijah, coming off his biggest victory in 1 Kings 18 and 19 on Mount Carmel and diving into a deep depression immediately after. Thankfully, God saw him in his sadness and lifted him up. Our bottom line for the week, when I'm feeling down, God can lift me up. And our power verse is from Nehemiah 8, 10b. Don't be dejected and sad, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Palm Sunday weekend will be a busy one for Hope Kids. Silly String Weekend is back, where we'll raise money for BGMC by buying cans of silly string and spraying our kids' leaders. And for the first time ever, we're actually having an egg drop on April 9th. We're still working on all the details for both these great events, so make sure you follow us on social media and check back with our website. On April 10th, we'll hear the story of a guy who probably had the worst day in all of history, Job. After literally losing everything, no one would blame him for turning his back on God. In fact, his wife encouraged him to do just that. But Job didn't. And God honored his faith by doubling everything he lost. Our bottom line, God will bless me if I don't give up. And our power verse is from James 1:12a. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Finally, we end our series on Easter Sunday with the only story that really matters in the entire Bible, the death and the resurrection of Jesus. We'll see how he gave his life for us and defeated death by raising himself from the grave. Our bottom line, when it looks like it's over, God comes through. And our power verse is from Matthew 28:5-6, which says, the angel said, you are looking for Jesus. He isn't here. He has been raised from the dead. We'll have our next live starting point class the following Tuesday on April 19th on Zoom for kids who want to follow Jesus and get baptized. I hope and pray that over these next 9 weeks, our kids will find hope and believe that God will come through. You can find out more about this series and all the things going on at Hope Kids at our website at www.churchofhope.com/kids. We'll see you soon.